Far too often people get to a certain age and they become isolated.
I would normally be sat at home in my wheelchair just being bored.
We've actually got to push and encourage the generations working together, otherwise the generation gap that currently exists is just going to get worse.
But this kind of breaks down all the barriers. Forget about the ages, forget about everything, just kind of get the real person, which is really important nowadays.
Intergenerational projects are very much around bringing different generations together. Most people think of that between older and younger people, but it's actually bringing people together of all ages. And the important thing is that by bringing them together, there is actually some interaction which is of mutual benefit to both younger and older people.
Intergenerational projects are important because I think in society today more and more people are moving away from the towns that they grew up in. So we're getting more and more children who are growing up that maybe don't have grandparents around. So they might have a lot of relationships with people who are their parents' age, and so their parents and maybe their friends' parents, but they don't really have any relationships with older people.
The project's for over 50s. We get people all around Reading, so West Reading, South Reading, here in the Leisure Centre as well. Get a bit of community support coming along. My involvement is pretty much come along, volunteer, help them out and just be as much help as possible.
We've had a group of young people aged 18 to 25 who have gone and learnt how to coach archery. So for them that's a brand new skill set they've learnt. They have then gone to groups of older people and taught them how to do archery. So we've got some people, young people who've learned how to do coaching and some older people who've learned the skill of archery.
It's just getting people active at all ages, getting them involved with sports.
Oh, I've got a bullseye!
I haven't worked with elderly people before, and to be honest, I enjoy it. It's a good laugh, they get on well with me, we have a laugh together, and I could see they enjoy it themselves, they like to have a laugh. So they have the motive that nothing's impossible for them to achieve.
It's been brilliant. Certainly from what we've seen with the archery, the competition, the camaraderie. There's been friendships built as well as, you know, just on a participant level. It's great to see them when they interact, when they're having some banter, when they're taking part in the competitions. It's really positive.
And I thought it would be really hard being in a wheelchair to do it. Everybody doesn't treat me any different. They treat me the same as they are. And that's what I like.
Rightly or wrongly, there are a lot of social stereotypes maybe, and possibly views that older people and younger people's thoughts of each other aren't that positive. And really it's activities and schemes like this that really work to break down those stereotypes and show the positive side of those relationships. So it's great.
Age Concern is involved for the older people primarily. We do a lot of work in Reading. We actually work with 1 in 8 older people in Reading. So when this chance came up, we thought we'd love to work with CBBP to bring older and younger people together, because that's a really important part of what we do.
Probably try and get to some harder reach people, such as hard to reach adults, some of the NEETs. That's been the real tough thing, because they're neat for a reason, they're hard to reach for a reason, so it's finding a common ground that we can get to speak to them and bring them out to being a community-based project. It's a matter of trust to get the hard to reach people out of their homes, so having a longer period of time to be able to do that would be fantastic. Spending time with young people keeps you young, it keeps things fun, and so to spend time with them is really beneficial for older people.
There are ways in which it can address some issues around social exclusion, cycles of deprivation, family poverty, by actually, in some instances, helping younger people understand the social aspects of relationships at work, can help people who've perhaps been unemployed for a long time or never been employed, perhaps understand the wider benefits of entering into employment and some of the social aspects of that.
We find that the old traditions are being lost, and we have to try and revive them and pass them on to our young people.
Utilivu project, it's our most improved project. Fundamentally a Kenyan project, but anyone was welcome to go along.
Well, it is quite good because there are many things that the young people can share with us. We were talking today about things on the internet. As you know, young people are very good at texting There are many things.
By the last session, the groups were completely intermingled and they were sharing skills.
And discuss with the children healthy way of living.
So, and that was another key factor, that we didn't just want it to be the older people giving and the younger people taking, or vice versa.
Can you see now? You can see proper like a TV. Now hold it there nicely. Make sure the camera doesn't move a lot. And make sure you're focusing on somebody.
So we felt it was important to tap into the wisdom of the senior citizens that are around us, which will be helping in resolving isolation that they could be going through, but at the same time transferring their wisdom to our young people.
Shall I start working on here again?
It was very early identified that actually older people have a lot of gardening experience and life experience, and young people are really sort of into their technology and the IT, so we tried to merge the two.
Tougher than you think, some of this stuff.
I read about it in one of the local papers, and so I just came along to see what was doing, because I enjoy gardening, and if it takes children off the streets, I think it's a brilliant idea.
Watering the marigolds and deadheading them, and once that are dry, putting water in the holes and then putting them back in.
Older people have come and taught young people how to do gardening, some skills like growing vegetables, and the young people have taught older people how to make food diaries using computers. So there's been a real transfer of skills there from young to old and old to young.
Because the roots spread out everywhere, and this roots come out all the way to here, they were joined.
The main thing that's actually come out of this project are the conversations, witnessing some fantastic conversations happening naturally between the two different generations.
It's quite good because obviously like they've got more experience than us, so like they can teach us stuff, and then when we go on the computers to type it up, we can like help them out and stuff like that. It's quite cool.
Oh, we've been very good, yes. Just make people interact better. It's been a success, yes.
A lot of the older people that came to the project, they were really passionate about helping young people learn about gardening. They've come with a little bit of apprehension about what are young people like today, and we've got a wide range of them. I hope that the older people here have actually experienced that some teenagers are actually quite pleasant and nice people.
That's the iPad.
For older people, we tend to find that quite a few older people get quite lonely, and it helps them to feel more part of society and able to give something back to the communities that they grew up in. For young people, it's a bit more tangible maybe. They find out about the towns that they live in, find out about some history. So I think it's different depending on the participants.
The basic thing that everybody gets out of it is a sense of belonging in the community. Then within individual projects you learn new skills. So we ran a tea dance project and people learn the different dances. They also learn how to tell their stories, because a big part of it was telling stories to the different generations. So that's a really important skill.
I was part of tea dancing, which was an intergenerational project all about tea dancing, which is a form of dancing which involves serving tea and cakes and telling stories. But this kind of breaks down all the barriers and really gets us just to forget about the ages, forget about everything, just kind of get the real person, which is really important nowadays. But it also taught us a lot about storytelling and just kind of not judging people, I guess, and friendship, of course. I mean, even since this, we've met up, so it shows that there doesn't really have to be an age divide at all. Any apprehension we had at the beginning kind of just flew away.
It was my line manager who actually first met with the group, the Generations Together group, and then passed the details on to me, seeing if they were asking for young people to join their steering group, because obviously it's an intergenerational event. They want young people and the older generations. So we were involved in the process from the beginning of deciding how to do the event, what to put on at the event, you know, how long it should last, what should happen, sort of thing, and in the process all the way up to the end and on the actual event itself. It was really funny to see their sort of reaction. I think they were expecting just like old doddery people with Zimmer frames sort of thing, just to be working with us. But when they saw these older people that I had, a lot of them were volunteers as well, and did so much work within society and so much work within schools and were just really 100% full throttle, as energetic as they are. It was nice that they saw that and they kind of saw, hang on, you know, if this is what I'm going to be like when I'm older, it's not going to be so bad, sort of thing. So it was good.
But I would really like to live in a world where an older person can walk down the street and see a group of young people, you know, with their hoods on, and for the older person to say hello, and for the young people to say hello. You know, it's not difficult. That's what I'd really like to see, is these changes in communities so that older and young people know each other and understand what they have in common rather than what the differences are.
It is like getting a community together almost, getting a good feel in the community and stuff. A great way to make friends, even if you're older or younger, it doesn't matter. And you do get some good life skills off it, and it looks good on your CV.
Well, my views is like us kids should work with like older adults, because like we should like get to know people and we'll have our place in the world.
So we feel very positive about the future. People who often engaged with this type of work do identify different and innovative practices, and we want to support them and help them sustain and build upon that work.